Hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope the week's off to a good start for you. It's probably going to be a short week for any of my watchers that are here in the States with Thanksgiving on Thursday. Beautiful day outside again. Great time to be alive. Today I want to talk about my top 3 raw food diet mistakes by beginners. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't done that thing yet, go down there and hit that big red subscribe button. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I want to do a little public service announcement too regarding social media. I just said this on Instagram. You can enhance your user experience on all these platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, by spending one afternoon, maybe even 30 minutes and looking at some tutorials. Search the app on, search it on YouTube, search it on Google. There's people that are using Instagram, they're lost. I see why y'all young folks get frustrated. I'm 54. People say 10 years younger than me and older. They can, not all of them. They can be oblivious to technology, and sometimes you say the most basic things and they don't even know it. So spend a little time. You can learn all these platforms. The 3 top raw food diet mistakes. There's so many of them, and I've done these videos before. I just thought I would kind of update this one and throw a few others out there that I see all the time. Number one, not eating enough. When are we going to get to the heads of people like that? The people that aren't eating enough, they just fall by the wayside day after day. Now, I'm not saying you got to eat the huge amounts of bananas or whatever I do, but you have to eat an adequate amount of food. You know, I see people out there, 800, 1,000 calories. That's not enough to sustain. You have to eat enough, because when you don't eat enough, your brain goes to these places and it starts wanting all those other treats, all those things that you used to eat in the past. You think you'll get through it by your willpower, and you'll hold on and you'll hold on. You might do that. You might do that for a few days, but you won't sustain that. I'll guarantee you. That's why, you know, I never sustained a diet for that long, because you were restricting. Now, I do know this, that a lot of people don't eat enough also too, not because they're consciously restricting, but it takes a little while to start doing this raw thing. You know, when we come to this lifestyle, most people have not ever taken in the quantity of fiber like we do on this lifestyle. So sometimes I understand it's just simply people that haven't developed their stomach yet. They just can't eat that much food. You do find over time that you can eat more food, but be sure and eat. If you can't eat a lot at one sitting, you know, eat meals throughout the day, but you've got to eat enough, and that's probably something important you want to figure out for yourself, like by your size, by your activity level, by whatever other factors determine that, like how much, what's your baseline, how much it takes for you just to maintain. You don't lose, you don't gain, but you have to. I mean, you got to get enough, or you're not going to make it. The second one is not planning. It's just flying by the seat of their pants, which I got to be transparent. That's pretty much what I did. I didn't plan anything. So there is a little going back, looking back. Yeah, so I try to do videos and put things in here from time to time that are actually lessons that I would have liked to have had if they were around. With the planning, sometimes I think it sounds kind of goofy to people, or it's like, well, I don't need to do that, or maybe you're not a writer, maybe you're not used to putting things down like that, but by any means necessary, you know, if it helps you get there. Some people struggle a little bit more on this lifestyle than others. Some people need that structure in their brain, like a very structured, detailed idea of what they're going to do. If you need to do that, and it'll help you a lot, and it doesn't take you 5 minutes. Maybe you have, you know, maybe you just need a little bit of help, like, okay, I need to get this much food in during the day, this many calories, and you have a looser plan. Some people may have to really get detailed with that plan. You might have to write down, you know, what are you going to eat when you first get up? What is your snack mid-morning? What are you eating, you know, middle of the day? If you need that, I'm not saying you have to eat 5 times or whatever. I'm just saying figure out those trouble times. You know, I'm always talking about those in-betweens, like 10 o'clock and 2 or 3 o'clock between breakfast and lunch and dinner. When people are out, they're at the office, whatever they're doing, that's when, you know, sometimes they start feeling a little bit of hunger. They don't like, you know, mid-morning, maybe you didn't eat enough breakfast. Mid-afternoon, you didn't have a big enough lunch. But by doing these little things, it could be as simple as that, just setting yourself a couple of in-betweens there, a couple of snacks. But do what you got to do with the planning. Get yourself a little notebook, write down everything you're eating, write down, and then just kind of play with that. You know, okay, you can go back. All right, I did this. You can tweak it, but definitely you need to plan. One of the biggest mistakes, problems I see out there, and this is number 3, is impatience. Impatience, impatience, impatience. We live in a now, I want it right this second society. I literally, I do this all the time when I hear somebody and they're very serious. They'll put online somewhere like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 3 days, and 3 days ain't gonna do nothing. If you're coming from a standard American diet, 3 days means nothing, 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 nothing. You can't make these big leaps to connect things. Oh, well, I did this, and oh, that raw food thing didn't work out. Or, I mean, it didn't, you know, it's not gonna, you're not gonna get anything overnight. Now, some people do. Some people do. You may have to know that you might have to have detox. It may get worse before it gets better. But to stop these little correlations, people say oh, I did a raw food diet for 3 days a week or whatever, and oh, it did, oh my God, it was terrible. 3 days, that's not going to do anything for you. You know, this takes a little bit of time. This takes a little bit of learning the process. It takes a little bit of your body adapting to the process. So I don't even like these time frames where people are, I'm going to do this by this date. Just learn a natural way of eating. And don't be so impatient. Also, too, when it comes to impatient, it's not just that people completely ditch it whatsoever and go back to standard American diet, but they're constantly jumping. And when I see these things, I'm looking and I'm almost kind of picking it apart going, well, they're just not giving anything a long enough chance to work, you know. And they'll stay plant-based, but they're always jumping on this fad. They do it this way for a while. Nothing happens. But they're constantly moving. Pick one of those. You know, I've been doing things the way I do them, right or wrong, for 6.5 years now. I haven't gone through a lot of different, I've tweaked, but I haven't gone like flipping, flopping back and forth, you know, oh, now I'm keto. Keto, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Or some of the crazy stuff. Now, a lot of the crazy stuff, that's probably just YouTubers, you know, generating content. I hope so, because some of the stuff I see out there, I'm like, God, I hope that's not real. But you've got to give this lifestyle a little bit of time. For most of us, I'm 54 years old. I beat the hell out of my body for those first 47 years. I drank hard for 30 years. I ate chicken wings. I ate lots of meat. I barbecued meat. I smoked meat. So, I mean, you got to have a little common sense coming into this too. Think about it. You've done stuff like that for years. You can't expect that you're just going to get it out of your system like that. And that's the thing that all this bullshit, these cleanses, and I'm talking here more like out in the mainstream world, not like any raw or whatever. They have these cleanses, and I'll see celebrities, they'll do something harsh on their body and they think they've detoxed and cleansed their body after doing some 3-day. They have these teas now. All the hot models on Instagram like always have some tea of some sort that's supposed to do something. But it's kind of funny. But it's going to take some time. It took us a while to dig into that hole. It's going to take a while to get out. So if I'm not saying if you're doing this lifestyle and you're not doing it correctly and it's not working for you, I'm not saying never change what you're doing. But as you're experimenting, as you're trying different things on, be aware that you do have to give it a little bit of time, you know, to see. I swear I see this all the time, and people stop doing exactly what they're doing or the way they're doing. And I think they were on the right track. They just didn't give it enough time. But anyhow, those are just 3 right there off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll do another 5 or 10 of these sometime in the next few years. But hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.